Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, it's Regit, and I'm not in a massively well-for-wear state. In fact, I feel absolutely awful. Perhaps I could be made to feel a little bit better by what is happening today. King WahWah is returning once again, and my tools for success that I have with me are my device, a new further away microphone through no deliberate action, and a cup of coffee, which I shall start now. When we last had a go at this level, Wrath of the Dogelord, there was loads of little stuff and I couldn't do any of it. Somewhat heartwarmingly, it seems that people agree that you can't really necessarily do it. In fact, apparently, it needs rushing. But if I copy exactly what people recommend, I might find myself doing it quickly. Perhaps that's a little over-optimistic, but what I will do is go into it just with the remembrance of the phrase rush, and see what I can make of that, to see if I can succeed in the return of WahWah. At the moment, I feel like I might just curl up in a ball and fall asleep. Though it is still no continues, my plan is to start off with a simple scouting run. We've got at least 4 attempts of this, so I think I can afford myself that without spending any items that will inevitably go down the drain. What I have brought with me is just remarkably generic and simple. It consists of the Moby Dick combo, principally anyway, and Sportswoman. It's just a load of manic units, with manic macho legs as well, which isn't necessarily that fast, but is good for waves and that for the peons, and I'm just going to see if I can brute force it through. There's a Bahama as well. I don't know how realistic a prospect that is. Honestly, I've got no idea when it comes to how realistic any of this is as a prospect. In fact, I, as you can probably tell, have no idea what I'm doing. Oh, there was a knockback. I like that. I like a knockback. Knockback's good. And we've almost got monies for a Bahama. I don't know how incredibly useful it will be. It is an area attack? Yes, it is an area attack. Okay, good. Well, that's some form of a start, but getting double knockback by WahWah was not such a great of a continuation. In fact, I don't believe it should have really happened at that distance, but there we go. It's annihilated, and there's nothing I can do about that now. Not that there was anything I could do about it at any given point at all, and that has been an absolutely miserable failure. Welcome back. Yeah, hurrah. Welcome back. I honestly have no idea, really, and I'm actually in a worse state than I was. Anyway, I've got the punch combo on this time, because Titan's area of effect, strong, not get knocked back until they die, probably will die, probably won't work out as nearly as well as I'm hoping it will. Brought Ramen along as well, because Mr. Angels, and honestly, I'm starting to think that maybe it might not have been such a short video, even if I'd looked at exact things to do, because it really does appear that I have absolutely no clue what I should be doing. We had such a very brief moment of success there, where we clipped WahWah back and it all looked like we're about to start moving through. And then all of a sudden, everything just got decimated and we were back to the old not doing even remotely well sort of stance. Anyway, I've brought Gamirion along this time because it's big, huge, has loads of health, especially against angels. And the thing is that if that isn't going to last very long, absolutely nothing is, so I might as well just give up. Editor's note, I definitely should have. There's a fair bit going along this way, but none of it is particularly hopeful. We're up to level 7 worker cat, and for a brief moment again it looked like we were in control of things before the massive mob descended on us and caused us even more trouble. Ultraman the Ultraland, his backline defense is now resolutely gone, as is probably any hope of success whatsoever. But I guess the upshot is that we've got to a point where we're now losing roughly where we were losing before. So at least we haven't gone backwards. Well, we have, but we've now gained a bit of ground back towards being just bad. I also have another issue of my mouse being de facto broken. It's not actually broken, but the surface I'm currently having to use it on in this temporary setup, it will not move in any mouse-like way. To actually go and look at the comments about what to do would take probably hours. So I'm gonna try and do it via this device here and try something new, I guess. I don't want to see 3 comments. I want to see them all. Please. Oh, well, I don't know where I read about rushes then. This says the opposite. Well, let's do that then. So this one really returns to the original ideas that makes me think that, well, perhaps what I was doing before did have some promise to it. Maglev. is still useful and is worth doing for exactly this reason here. Rebounds from the peons at the start does incredibly well to gather monies out of that. Apparently, after that, you wait for another maglev and then the Mr. Angels after that, and then start putting stuff out. And completely contrary to whatever I imagined I read or did actually read, we're trying to sort of stake out and survive as long as we possibly can. Fair enough, like the sound of that, that's all okay. I'm going to stick Cyberpunk in there in the very back so that if it dies, everything else is safely dead anyway. And now I think we're progressing forward as fast as we can. So that includes Cat Machine. We've had a little knockback on WahWah, which is fantastic. What can I do past that? Nothing at the moment. Got to wait for some more monies to come in. I will prioritise putting out a unit before I do a worker upgrade, though it is getting pretty hairy and scary. We've got Lil Nyandam out, and no, we don't have its true form. That's why it's not there. But hopefully still it will have the desired effect and use its desirable range to do some desirable good. I don't know. We're already being pushed back against where we really don't need to be, and I guess that could theoretically be it. We've got WahWah back a bit. Okay, that's good. Past that, things definitely aren't good because it's really difficult and I can't do it and the Cat Machine's dead. So that's all quite fun. I think I probably don't need to describe much more. I think what you see currently is fairly self-evident failure. Wow. Oh, that base HP went down very, very quickly to 4,000 stabilised, and then that was it. Well, that looks resolutely to me like there's absolutely no hope in that. It was, I reckon, better than what on earth I was doing previously, but that doesn't bring me much closer to success. And so, seeming as I am even more out of action than my skill level usually makes me, I'm going to employ an old friend of mine. The added heartbreak of this is that all this energy is being sacrificed directly in the face of possible Silver Week runs, which has been a great success and is going to bring my item totals to a hopefully staggering new high. This low is very much not welcome, but seeming as it probably will be the last attempt, I will put on a rich cat and a sniper cat because I want to employ, as I said, my old friend the CPU to do it for me. Now, credit to this strat, what I've put together wasn't actually what it was described as. It was difficult to do that because obviously I'm trying to put the strat together on the same device the comments were on, so I just tried to remember, albeit not very well. In fact, not very well at all. Anyway, I remember green shell was in it, and then I think I changed it a bit more anyway, and this is what it is now. I'm not going to attempt to describe it because of the very, very remote chances of victory. I say remote, it's more like Uncharted. Still an immediate maglev though. That was the one bit of the strat that was actually working alright. Oh wow, thanks to the sniper cat we actually got 3 knockbacks off on WahWah there. That went WahWah very well indeed. I don't know why I put WahWah in that sentence, it didn't combine very well. Right, that maglev has had a lot of use come out of it. So let's put the Cyberpunk up now because it's at the base where it needs to be, and a CPU on. Let's make the most of it while we can, and I can sit back and just watch something happen. I'm not imagining anything good will happen, but I'll position our view here. I've put on an iron wall because there's so much stuff. Hopefully the iron wall provides a little bit of an extra health barrier when we're in trouble. That's the idea anyway. Don't know if it will be of more or less benefit than the slow beam, but it's just up to the CPU now to put out what it can when it can to try and protect us as much as it can. That's why I've changed the strat at least slightly. I guess I can explain that within the strat to be cost efficient and have only as an expensive unit our Cyberpunk, so that CPU will be putting stuff out at all times, especially with the monies from peons. It looks like, however, we're already being overrun. By the time I've reached the end of my couple sentence explainer for what I'm attempting to do, it's already not working. We've briefly knocked back WahWah, which gives us a tiny respite, which is all very well, but then probably not massively all very well, because then we're just going to launch ourselves into the same position once again, whilst WahWah just gets the attacks in. Especially now that we've got Brollos, that process is going to be made a little bit more quick, and a little bit more sad, and remote, and just desolate, and miserable. WahWah's actually been knocked back so many times now that it's pretty much out of the picture. But that doesn't matter, because there's so much stuff here, and as you can see, nothing good comes out of it. And I don't think anything good has come out of this, except I hope for some enjoyment from you. I really hope that, because I have achieved literally nothing else, and the object of it is to provide some form of entertainment, so I hope it has succeeded in doing that. I will very much be off now, but as I am very much off, I very much bid you goodbye and very much hope, really hope, that you enjoyed.